A conference committee report on House File number 2563, an act relating to legacy. The report is addressed to the Honorable Lisa M. Damuth, Speaker of the House, the Honorable Bobby Joe Champion, President of the Senate. We, the undersigned conferees for House File number 2563, report that we've agreed upon the items in dispute and recommend as follows. The report is signed by 4 of the 4 members on the part of the House and 4 of the 5 members on the part of the Senate. Vang moves that the report of the Conference Committee on House Bill number 2563 be adopted and that the bill be repassed as amended by the Conference Committee.
I recognize a member from Hennepin, Representative Vang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this is the Legacy Conference Committee report agreement reached with the Senate. Some of the key differences from the House bill that we passed a few weeks ago. Within the Parks and Trail, we returned to Peace in the Valley, taking out wilderness inquiry and funding it in the Arts and Culture Fund. With the Minnesota Zoo, we increased from the House position to $3.4 million. In the Minnesota Children's Museum, we increased to $1 million and done another carve-out for $1.5 million for children's museums across the state in a competitive grant pool. And then one more key difference is the Science Museum, which we increased to $700,000 for the Science Museum. And with that, those are some of the key major differences within the Conference Committee report. And I ask for member support.
I recognize a member from Wright, Representative McDonald.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. There's not much else to say. Chair Vang did a very well job, a great job explaining it. But the House, we did really get some really good provisions in the legacy this year. And I think that the Senate had said, Senator Herr, who was great to work with, said the bill is a better bill than it left the Senate floor. So I think that's a compliment to our House position and certainly worthy of your vote tonight. I won't go through the itemized list, but the things that we got, but there were some really good provisions that we got out of this bill. It's been a pleasure to be the chair and to work with Chair Vang. We worked very well together. I was surprised how well we worked together, just because there's always disagreements, right, with husbands and wives and Democrats and Republicans and chairs and co-chairs. But we really enjoyed each other's company and enjoyed each other's working relationship. And I don't even know if there was any disagreements that we didn't agree on. Well, one, I can think of one, that's right. We'll let Rep. Nash talk about that. But anyway, it has been a pleasure. And Minnesotan, you can be well assured that your tax dollars that goes into this legacy money is spent well on very important projects throughout every 87 counties, including clean water, parks and trails, outdoor heritage, Lessard Sands, things that are near and dear to each and every one of us. And of course, arts and culture seems to be a very popular item within the bill. We got a lot of great provisions in there, a lot of priorities, a lot of projects throughout all your districts. So you can be confident tonight in voting for your legacy, the legacy bill. Mr. Speaker.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion to adopt the Conference Committee report on House File 2563 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. No. The motion prevails. The clerk will give the bill its third reading as amended by conference.
Third reading, House File number 2563 as amended by conference.
Third reading. Any further discussion? I recognize the member from Ramsey, Representative Hussain.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and the members. This is a good bill. Today we are discussing House File 2563. This bill that invests in Minnesota cultural heritage, natural resource, and educational programs. This bill, the area that we cover is Outdoor Heritage Fund, protecting over 160,000 acres land for the wildlife and nature. Clean Water Fund, making sure that our water is drinkable for anywhere in our state, and protecting our lakes and rivers. The Park and the Trail Fund, expanding access to the park and the trail across the state of Minnesota. And we also invested Art and Cultural Heritage Fund supporting arts, cultural, and community programs throughout the state. We are also creating a new opportunity for those people underserved state of Minnesota communities through the Community Identity and Heritage Grant Program. This funding will be uplifting many Minnesotans across the state and immigrant communities, helping them preserve their stories and share their culture for those BIPOC community. This bill is a great bill, and I'll make sure that all of us need to vote. We came from a long way, and Chair McDonald, Chair Vang, and a member of the legacy has debated, has worked together to come out a good bill that we can invest the people of Minnesota. The House File 2563 is not just about programming and initiative, it is about protecting what Minnesota unique. It is about ensuring that all the voices are heard throughout the stories told and communities that have opportunity to thrive. This is a good bill, and I'm strongly encourage all of us to vote green. We're all about environment. We're all about park and trail. I enjoy the summer times. Me and my son and my daughter, we go out and enjoy the beautiful lakes, the beautiful trail that we have in the state of Minnesota. And if we don't invest those, who's going to invest? Through the legacy, and I'm honored to be in the legacy. Thank you, Chair McDonald, for working so hard in dedication and working with our great Chair Vang. Same here. You were working tireless, and you engage in all of us, and both of you has reached out across aisle. And that's what we need in this body. We should not be just talking to each other as a Democrat. We should be talking to GOP. We should be talking to both parties and come up something that intangible that works for the people of Minnesota. The people are voting for us, and they holding us accountability. This is what unite us. It looks like there's a reason that our people voted to make sure that, divided party and equal, that they testing us. They making sure that we are working together across aisle. So please vote for this bill, and thank you.
I recognize the member from St. Louis, Representative Scraba.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Right here's the bill. It's a great bill. I'm impressed with the negotiation of both Chair Vang and Chair McDonald. I got to sit in on a couple of the meetings and watch how it's made. I think there's a lot of good for everyone in Minnesota here. Spoke to the legacy money comes from 3/8 of a cent on all the sales tax. So the money is always in there, and it's constantly, it needs to be used. And it's set up so that it gets used for clean water, clean air, arts and culture. And I think we're doing a good job. I think we did a great job for what we had to work with. We had a clip of $33.1 million this year because of a counting error. So everyone got a little cut. But at the same time, I think we moved money around in different organizations and a new way of doing business. I'm looking forward to see how it works. I think some of the big winners in here, I know my brain just, we had in outdoor heritage, we've got, Pheasants Forever did very well, Nature Conservancy, Rough Grouse Society. I know the Moose Habitat Collaborative, really good moose collaborative. That's something we're going to use in northern Minnesota. It's a good project. But throughout this bill, throughout the process, it's a fair process. I can't say enough about helping with the chairs, and I look forward to seeing a green bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further discussion? I see the member from Morrison, Representative Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I know that Minnesotans voted for this and said that we should spend this money, and therefore we have a bill in front of us. I mean, that's the justification here for a lot that's found within here. And we also have to recognize for a moment, members, that there's also funds in here that directly fund some of our state agencies and some of the specific work. And I just have to note for the record, amidst this push that's coming from the executive branch to raise fees on Minnesotans, that there's also state agencies that requested fee increases that are also getting additional appropriations inside this bill. And if we're going to feed the beast of government, that we should be supporting the people out in the state of Minnesota who have to pay the fees.
I recognize the member from Wright, Representative McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I didn't realize I was going to say another word, but since you called on me. Now, last time it was on the House floor, I thanked all the folks that worked on the bill, so I won't do that. But I would be remiss if I didn't at least thank our CA, Ms. Amy Zipko, who's working on two different committees, the Environment and Legacy. And I certainly, Representative Vang, we both couldn't and wouldn't do this job without good people that help put this bill together and keep us in line. So Ms. Amy Zipko, many gratitudes and thanks to your great work that you spent on this bill. So I appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a good bill to support. A good yes vote.
Recognize the member from Ramsey, Representative Perez Vega.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to give thanks to our chairs on both sides for the several conversations and the importance of recognizing the cultural aspect in this legacy. You know, I have two bills that I authored on here, and I'm very proud to see that there is two, because one wasn't in the presence in the first time we came in the first round here. But, you know, the Science Museum of Minnesota is a very epic center for all of Minnesotans. It's in the heart of my district that is quite hurting right now when we look at what downtown is, but it brings in the connections of also listening through their administration, working closely and engaging to what it brings to not only cultural, not only commitment to our state's tourism, but also to workforce, because it's evident that this is supportive to programs that bring in jobs for those folks that are engaged in our cultural arts and legacy. I also want to highlight from behalf of the Latino community in the state of Minnesota that we have funding going towards Neomuralismo de Mexico and the impact of our first Latinos in the state who are branching to other Latino groups throughout the state that just did an amazing installation in Red Wing and working with folks in greater Minnesota to bring the essence of our Minnesota Latino community of arts and performances, and with all installation that kicks off for this summer on Raspberry Island. These are the large impacts that come from the many conversations, the many debates, but the conversations that really unify and bring joy even when things feel crucial at times. So I am urging members to know that we all did this work together. There's always more work to be done, but thank you for not leaving my community out. And I urge a green vote on this. Thank you.
I recognize the member from Hennepin, Representative Vang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I echo the words of the other members here. I'm grateful for the legacy amendment to protect our drinking water sources, restore our native habitat, to support our parks and trails, and to preserve arts and cultural heritage. I also want to thank you, Co-Chair McDonald, for all the work that you've done in this committee and for your partnership. I didn't know what to expect, but I think moving forward, we can both expect that we shared a mutual respect for the work on legacy and doing good work for the state of Minnesota. And I also want to, before I forget, I want to thank Mike Mozon, the CA and the Legacy Committee, for all the incredible work that you've done and for sharing your insights as we navigate through this unique time that we're in. There are many worthy projects and many worthy organizations. I know that with the dollars that we invested, the impact of legacy is boundless. And I know that every dollar is worth every investment that we make here. I would just like to note the one thing that I am particularly excited about, and there are many great things, but one thing that I am very excited about is the one with the competitive pool of funding for the creative art music. This is to provide funding support for musicians in creating music and producing music and performing it throughout the state. Minnesota has a very nice local music artist scene, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have another icon come out of Minnesota? And that will be amazing for us to see in the state of Minnesota, that we supported another icon to share the beautiful creative works of an artist to the rest of the world and to the rest of the country. And so that is what I'm hoping that the impact of legacy dollars would do, that the start of $1 investment or to hundreds of thousands, that we are able to share the creative legacy of individuals who come out of Minnesota. And finally, more than ever, with the state of our divisive politics, targeting communities, I see our legacy dollars in helping us talk to one another, in helping us learn from one another's culture and heritage, from the past to the present, and to celebrate the rich diversities that each one of us bring here to the state. And with that, I will ask members for your support and to vote green. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There being no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll. Members, please vote. The clerk will close the roll. There being 113 yeas and 21 nays, the bill is repassed as amended by conference and its title agreed to.